Your tips have led to the capture of 313 fugitives. Tonight's capture is Dr. Stuart Adelman, a brilliant scientist who police say became an international con man, stealing everything from credit cards and rare books to radioactive material.
From Washington, I'm John Walsh, and this is America's Most Wanted. Our first case tonight, Vicki Ann Nash. By her late 20s, Nash had 3 children, who she abandoned, and 2 ex-husbands, thanks to her infidelity and drug abuse. Wayne Nash, her second husband, says every time he went to work, Vicki went to party with other men. Nothing could stop the good time girl. So when Wayne showed her the door, Vicki simply started looking for the next party. Houston, Texas, 1979. The boom days of excess oil and fast living are gone. But on the southeast side, one could still find an excess of drugs, sex, and violence. Vicki Ann Nash was drawn to that world. After her easy ways ruined her second marriage, she was now taking a walk on the wild side with a crowd more appreciative of her bad habits.
Saved you a seat.
My lucky day.
What would it be?
You tell me.
Who's your old husband Wayne? I haven't seen him around lately.
I'll drink to that. Gary, who's the pretty little lady?
Vicki, this is Cheryl. Cheryl, this is Vicki.
Hi. So, you got the map? Yeah, babe. Let's party. God, baby, I could show you something right now.
So, like, you two together or what?
You could say that, but I think there's enough of everything to go around. What do y'all say we go for the ride?
Nash was attracted to Gary Cooper's style. He played by the same set of rules. Anything goes. Before long, Nash was Cooper's live-in lover.
Hey, Chris, from Mr. Rockford Files.
Oh, man. What's he up to today?
Vicki she was a shrewd woman. Anything she wanted, she could get. However she wanted it, she'd find a way, figure a way. She'd use her body, her mind, anything she could to get her drugs. She was no dummy by no means. I'd seen a little jar of drugs that was purchased for her, and it looked like a big jelly bean jar full of jelly beans.
Ain't you all done yet?
Damn, she's tough, Coop.
Check.
I'll be damned.
It ain't candy, Vicki, as much as you'd like to think that. It cost me a damn fortune.
Well, you can take all your damn stash. I just want my money back.
Hey, drop it. Just drop it.
Well, I know when I'm beat. See you tonight, Coop.
Nash claimed Cooper had stolen her small family inheritance.
It's my money. I inherited it. He had no reason taking it from me.
Damn it, Vicki. How much you reckon I spent on you in the last 4 months?
It's not like you didn't get nothing for it.
But how you just would have blown that money, so why don't you just mellow out?
It's for my little girl, Emily.
Yeah, right. Listen, would you just get off your high horse? You're really blowing my mind. Come here. Now, let's say you and me have someone over tonight, huh? Someone special? You know, a little party, maybe? You and me and, Donna?
I don't want any of your threesomes. I just want my money.
Just get out. Just get out.
Hey, guys. God, thanks so much for giving me
Nash found another companion, but she wasn't finished with Gary Cooper, not by a long shot. Police say it was early morning when Nash caught a ride back to Cooper's house.
Where's the party?
I told you not to come back here.
I brought a friend. Isn't that what you wanted?
What I wanted you to get the hell out of here.
Come on, babe. Let's just go inside. You know I'll make you feel really nice.
You're wasted, Vicky. Get lost. Diva!
Cooper had spent the night with 22-year-old Donna Jean Cleveland, a local supermarket checker.
Maybe I should go.
Yeah, it was nothing. Go back to sleep.
Abandoned again, Nash could only think of one person to turn to, her estranged husband, Wayne Nash.
Wayne?
Vicky, that you?
We gotta talk, babe. You know, what we had, it was really good, you know? I mean, not a lot of people have something like that.
The divorce is going through, Vicky, and that's that.
It's all gone, Wayne. You, my little Emily. I think I should just do it. End it. Do you think a 22 would kill somebody?
I reckon it just piss him off. You want me to hang on here while you shoot yourself? That what you want, Vicky? Look, it's late. Call me tomorrow and we'll talk.
I think she was jealous, didn't have control. Come home and found another woman there, and I believe she just lost it.
Witnesses reported hearing an argument around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and witnesses reported hearing gunshots sometime between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning. And then at approximately 5:15 in the morning, Vicky shows up at a neighbor's house.
I was wondering if you could call an ambulance.
What is it? Something happened?
It's a personal matter. But you better call the cops while you're at it.
Okay. But the cops, they're going to want to know before they come.
Well, tell them there was a robbery at your house.
When officers arrived, they found Cooper and Cleveland inside, dead from multiple gunshots to the head. They also found Nash still at the scene.
Vicky knew how to handle guns. Gary had taken her to the gun range a couple of times, I know of. And he kind of laughed about it. Said, you know, Cal, don't ever make her mad. She's a pretty good shot. Only she was just jealous, mad, rage, because what happened was an overkill.
Police questioned Nash that night. They wanted the results of the forensic test before charging her. When the evidence was in, Nash was indicted on 2 counts of murder, but by then, Nash had skipped town. That was 15 years ago, and the FBI is still searching for Vicki Ann Nash. These photos from the 70s are all we have to work from. Nash has an inch-long scar across her forehead from a car accident, and her nose is crooked. It was broken in a fight. She's known to use hair dye and makeup to disguise her appearance. Nash once bragged to a friend how she lured lookalikes into restrooms, then stole their ID. She has no known job skills. Police say she's probably hanging out wherever there's a steady supply of drugs. We've age-enhanced a photo of Nash to show how she may look today at 42. But if she's a long-time drug abuser, Nash may look even older. If you know where Vicki Ann Nash is tonight, you know what to do. Call us at 1-800-CRIME-TV. That's 1-800-274-6388. When we come back, a federal task force needs your help to take down the most wanted man in America. Stay with us.
An accused serial killer may have struck again.
This man is a predator. He'll continue to stalk and he'll continue to kill until he's stopped.
This summer, we named Gary Ray Bowles the most wanted man in America. He's the accused serial killer, charged with 3 murders and suspected in at least 1 other. Now, as Kate Sullivan reports, police fear Bowles may have struck again.
50-year-old Henry Weatherford was found shot to death in his Richmond, Virginia home June 13th.
He was very generous with himself. And oftentimes I think he helped people who he knew were in trouble or needed some assistance to get on with their life. And that was maybe his downfall.
Weatherford was a wealthy antiques dealer who traveled the East Coast extensively. It was on a recent trip, police believe, Weatherford met Gary Ray Bowles.
Gary Ray Bowles matches closely the description of a subject who came in from out of town who had befriended Henry Weatherford, much like Gary Ray Bowles has befriended his victims in the past.
Like all of those victims, Weatherford lived near I-95. Police suspect Bowles used this highway in his killing spree from Maryland to Florida. March 15th, Daytona Beach. Insurance agent John Roberts was found in his home. His skull was smashed. The prime suspect, Gary Bowles. Police say Bowles then headed north to Wheaton, Maryland. April 14th, 39-year-old David Jarman was found stabbed to death. May 5th, Savannah, Georgia, was where police say Bowles struck next. 72-year-old Milton Bradley was found strangled to death on a golf course. 2 weeks later in Jacksonville, Florida, police suspect Bowles tried to hustle men in this gay bar. They say he met 37-year-old Al Morris. Morris was found beaten, stabbed, and shot to death. Then June 13th in Richmond, Virginia, police suspect Henry Weatherford became Bowles' next target. And just as he did in the other murders, police believe Bowles stole his latest victim's credit cards and vehicle.
Gary Ray Bowles, upon killing his victims, has taken the motor vehicle on at least 2 occasions. And that is also a similarity in this case.
Police say June 13th, Bowles used Weatherford's car to flee Richmond.
Days later, we aired the Gary Ray Bowles profile. It was then, police believe, Bowles broke his pattern. For the first time, he began to cover his tracks.
Police suspect Bowles drove Weatherford's car to Bridgeton, Missouri. They found it there, altered and abandoned.
The inspection sticker and local county sticker had been scraped out of the windshield and the foreign plate put onto the car.
Now, police wonder how many more families will have to grieve before Bowles is finally stopped.
I find it very hard to even conceive of someone doing that.
This man is a predator. He is out stalking individuals. He'll continue to stalk and he'll continue to kill until he's stopped.
Now, take another look at Gary Ray Bowles. Police believe he left the East Coast and headed west. He may frequent the Branson, Missouri area where he has family. That's where this picture was taken in March. Note the tattoo on his right arm. He also has a cross and a ribbon on his left arm. Bowles has scars from 2 stab wounds on his chest. Police say Bowles comes on friendly and charming. But don't be fooled. If you know where Gary Ray Bowles is tonight, call 1-800-CRIME-TV.
Investigators say Bowles may have been at a gay bar in Kenosha, Wisconsin on August 5th. Believe it when authorities say Bowles isn't going to stop killing till we stop him. Coming up next, bizarre love triangle leads to murder.
I wonder if you'd mind checking up on my wife. She'll be home all alone. She'll get bored out.
Alan Lee Eccles was the kind of kid who faded into the background. Painfully shy and awkward, he never grew out of it. And at the age of 28, Eccles had never even had a girlfriend. But then, an older woman turned him on, turned his life upside down.
Kansas City, let me go. Kansas City, let me go.
In September of 1989, Alan Eccles was working as an auto cleaner in suburban Raytown, Missouri. Ron Nichols owned the garage next door. Though nearly twice his age, Ron was Eccles' best friend. Eccles' boss, Gene Bailey, had known both men for years.
Hey, you're late. I'm sorry. You have a late night?
Let me guess. You were out with some beautiful baby. She kept you out to the brink of dawn. You overslept.
Look, I was helping my grandma do some errands.
Well, that figures. Hey, Alan, could you come here and give me a hand?
What do you need?
Wonder if you'd mind doing me a favor.
You name it.
I'm gonna be out of town for a couple days. I gotta go visit my daughter. Gene's gonna look after the shop. I wonder if you'd mind checking up on my wife. She'll be home all alone. She'll get bored out of her mind.
No problem, Ron.
Eccles agreed and took his best friend's wife, Billy Nichols, out to dinner.
Welcome to Red Lobster. Can I start you off with a cocktail?
Yeah, make mine a sex on the beach.
And for your friend?
A Pepsi.
Okay. I'll be right back with us.
What's that?
Oh, it's tagging minutes for my ulcer. I can't drink without it.
Oh.
All of a sudden, just kind of a whammy or some kind of a spell had to have been cast.
Thanks.
I think Billy saw that someone was taking an interest in her other than Ronnie, and love grows. Blossoms like a rose.
Okay. I think I'm going to ask Billy out.
Yeah, sure. Oh, no, wait. Now, I know I always told you that you needed to find a woman, but come on.
Hey, I know it's wrong,
No,
but...
listen, if you're playing with Billy, you're playing with fire.
I've never...
I know. It's okay.
Now when I was a little boy, at the age of 5, I had something in my pocket, keep a lot of folks alive. Now I'm a man.
Hey, pal.
Hey. Where you been?
Fun house.
You weren't with Billy, were you? Oh, man, how could you do that? She's your best friend's wife.
She don't mind, and I don't mind.
When he came back, he was in a daze. You know, didn't want to work, couldn't get him to work. He said, oh man, this is so unbelievable. I mean, you know, it's almost like he's on drugs. But then after they got together, they slept and everything, he didn't care. As far as he concerned, he didn't, Ron meant nothing to him.
Friends and family say the relationship blossomed. Eccles grew more confident, even cocky, ignoring the fact that Billy was his best friend's wife. On May 21st, 1990, Billy left Ron and secretly moved into an apartment with Eccles. Ron returned the next day after spending the weekend at his daughter's graduation.
Billy? What the hell?
Billy! What's going on? Billy! What? Second chance. It's all I want.
Look, if you really loved me, you would have spent more time with me. And you didn't.
I do love you. Without you, I'm nothing.
Friends say Ron had no idea his wife was living with Eccles. He begged her for another chance and did everything he could to try to win her back.
Oh, that's great. You never put my
Let me get away from there. Come on, get that to work. What the hell's so funny? You're so pathetic.
You know, it makes things a lot easier if he just fell off his motorcycle and killed himself.
Joking, right?
Yeah, what do you think?
I remember that. That was plain as day. That really bothered me because, you know, he was serious about it. And I knew that the boy's got a problem. I mean, he is so in love with this woman that he's not even thinking about what he's doing.
Ronnie was upset. He wanted her back so bad. But he sent her roses. He sent her diamonds. He sent her letters. He could not figure out what he had done wrong.
Ron sent you roses. That's nice.
Alan, I've decided to go back to Ron.
What?
I think I should give him another chance.
I don't.
Well, I have 10 years with him. I think we should try it out. Maybe he's changed.
Changed? So what?
He was very, very mad and mean about that, bitter about it. You can see a different side. You can see a side where I don't care whether he lives or dies.
October 12, 1990. Back together for a few weeks, Ron and Billy were trying to patch up their marriage. They had dinner out, then dancing at Club 95, a popular local night spot.
We ain't danced like this since we first met.
We ain't done a lot of things since we first met.
Yeah, well, I'm fixing to change all that starting tonight.
I'd like to see you try.
No alternative.
Police say that Eccles, still obsessed with Billy, followed the couple to the nightclub.
Well, up be tonight.
Oh, make mine a sex on the beach.
You?
I'll have a slow screw.
You too. Right back with your change.
I can't find my purse.
You think you left it in the car?
Well, maybe I did.
Yeah, forget about it. This ain't no Dutch treat.
I know, but it's got my tag on it. I can't drink without it. Please.
Well, Alan, what are you doing here?
Just checking it out.
What are you doing with that?
You here with Billy?
Yeah, why don't you come on inside and join us?
Not good enough for her, man. He's like this.
Get out of my wood.
It was a love triangle. There was Billy at the point, and Alan and Ronnie was in the way to make this love connection work. So to eliminate the love triangle, what do? You remove a piece. Unfortunately, he got permanently removed. I think they ought to take him, they ought to tar him, they ought to feather him. They ought to proceed to do to him 10 times worse than what they ever did to my brother. When he gets to prison, I'm going to be standing at the prison doors. I'm going to watch him go in.
8 days after the murder, Eccles was arrested and gave this chilling confession to Kansas City police.
I couldn't tell he was breathing or anything, so I figured he was dead. I went ahead and I took his wallet. I just thought, well, maybe that'd make it look like a robbery. So like I said, I was scared. I didn't know what to... I've never been in anything like a fight or anything, let alone anything like this.
Anything like this was a clear case of overkill. Ron Nichols was stabbed 61 times. His widow, Billy, testified in court against Echols. A jury found Echols guilty of first-degree murder. In Missouri, that means life in prison without the possibility of parole. So when the judge released Echols and gave him 3 days to get his affairs in order, people were shocked. No one was shocked when Echols disappeared. Echols is shy, he embarrasses easily, and everyone knows it because his face turns beet red. Till his conviction, Echols had never been away from home before. Echols turns 30 at the end of August. It's time for him to grow up and face the music. If you know where Alan Lee Echols is tonight, call our hotline at 1-800-CRIME-TV. Coming up, your tips take another one of America's Most Wanted out of circulation.
Next, they thought he was the absent-minded professor, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Now he's capture number 313.
I said, I know this man, I work with him. And she told me, well, call the number, call the number.
Back in June, we asked you to help track down one of the most unusual fugitives we've ever profiled, Dr. Stuart Lee Adelman. Once a brilliant scientist, police say he became a compulsive international con artist. Thanks to an alert viewer, Adelman is in the custody of Canadian immigration authorities. It's a strange story that started right here in our nation's capital. The Folger Shakespeare Library in Washington, D.C., a haven for literary scholars around the world. In May of 1991, Stuart Adelman pretended to be a visiting professor researching rare and valuable antique manuscripts.
Excuse me, Professor, you're not allowed to smoke.
Of course, I'm sorry. How thoughtless.
But Adelman wanted to take more than just notes. He was literally stealing a page from history. Adelman was a nuclear physicist from Cambridge University who moved easily in academic and scientific circles. Often he'd prevail on old college friends, taking full advantage of their contacts and hospitality, including helping himself to their credit cards. Besides his friends, Adelman was stealing valuable manuscripts from the Folger and selling them to unsuspecting dealers. But one dealer notified the FBI. When the library checked their records, they discovered Adelman had signed out the manuscripts in his own name, almost as if he were daring someone to catch him.
We were sure he had left town and he had already appeared in other places, and we had been advised that it was very unlikely that he'd come back. He, in fact, did show up one day.
Oh, but tell that to the press.
Stuart Lee Adelman, FBI. You are under arrest for the interstate transportation and sale of stolen property.
There's a real tendency to feel he's one of us, he's educated, he's nice. It's very hard to acknowledge that this guy is a crook.
Adelman confessed and spent 6 months in the Schuylkill prison camp. As soon as he was released on parole, he headed over the border into Canada. Police say he resumed an old scam using hospitals as free hotels. They say Adelman faked the symptoms of a stroke to get admitted to a hospital. When he checked out, he left behind unpaid medical bills for tens of thousands of dollars and phone bills for calls all over the world. In July of last year, he left a hospital in Vancouver, Canada, and turned to a rabbi he'd just met for help.
Oh, this is very interesting.
Adelman stayed at the rabbi's home for more than 3 weeks. He proved to be a fascinating guest in more ways than one.
I'm more of a researcher, really. I'm working on a new radioisotope for cancer teletherapy. Lots of potential. I see your computer. Does it have a fax?
While Adelman logged a lot of time on the rabbi's computer, he also had another interest, an expensive interest in using the rabbi's credit card to commit fraud.
Yes, that's my Visa number, but I never placed such an order.
Once the bills began to arrive, Adelman vanished. The rabbi then discovered what Adelman had really been up to on the computer. The rabbi found Adelman's secret files and realized that Adelman had been running a bogus company and using the rabbi's address as his company headquarters.
213-5971.
Even after he disappeared, Adelman continued to use the rabbi's credit card to charge phone calls. Some were scientific in nature, others more intimate.
Hello, Tiffany. Yes, this is the professor. And you're my student. And you've been bad. You haven't done your homework.
Adelman's calls to sex lines ran up thousands of dollars on the rabbi's credit card.
Oh, that sounds naughty. Let's shoot for an A.
Watch my bag for me.
For more than a year, Adelman's whereabouts remained a mystery until June 4th, his 56th birthday. That was the night we broadcast his profile and asked viewers to find him. In Toronto, Canada, Christine McKenzie was watching.
I recognized him as Gary Fuller, the gentleman who I was working with. And I said to my sister's friend, Michelle, that I know this man, I work with him. And she told me, well, call the number. So
the man Christine knew as Gary Fuller was in fact Adelman. Ironically, he was working at a Toronto telemarketing firm selling credit cards, a commodity he had an intimate knowledge of.
Who knows what he was doing or what his motives were, because he had this little booklet where he was jotting down numbers that could easily have been the social insurance numbers of anyone that he was calling.
6 days after Christine called America's Most Wanted, the Toronto police took Stuart Adelman into custody. But the strange story of Dr. Stuart Adelman didn't end there. Police say Adelman was using at least 3 aliases, and a search of his Toronto residence yielded the key to a storage locker. The locker contained some of his rare and potentially deadly possessions.
We got a search warrant for this locker and found a quantity of rare books, very expensive books, and some material which we believe was radioactive.
In fact, it was radioactive, and the authorities think Adelman obtained the lethal material by once again conning his friends in the academic community.
We function as a community of gentlemen, and when somebody cons us like that or uses our name without any permission or something like that, it sort of bothers people. And
Professor Harmson thinks Adelman used his contacts at Queen's University to get a license number needed to order the radioactive elements. But the real mystery is why.
Apparently, if you mix these two, you might get a spectrum, a radiation spectrum, which looks very much like uranium. So somebody speculated that he might have been trying to mix these two and then sell them as uranium at a profit.
Uranium is a crucial element in the manufacture of nuclear bombs. As to what Dr. Adelman was planning to do with the radioactive material, no one really knows. No one, that is, other than Stuart Adelman. So far, he isn't talking.
In the end, you feel, why did he not communicate? Why did he not reach out? It's not the money. The big thing is the hurt, the emotional hurt he causes among his friends and people who trust him.
2 hearings have been held on fraud charges, but Adelman's future is far from decided. He may even face charges from Canada's Atomic Control Board. Since Adelman used a false identity to work in Canada, immigration officials are considering deporting him back here to the United States. U.S. Marshals say they'll be more than happy to meet him at the border. We'll be back with more in a moment, so don't go away. Since the turn of the century, the Alexandria has been a landmark in El Paso, Texas. It's the kind of place where neighbors become friends, and friends become almost like family. At the center of this family was the Alexandria's tireless manager, Matias Chasco. On September 24th, 1982, Matias and his wife were on their way to a high school football game.
That's how you looked into it. It looks soft.
Come on, honey, we're going to miss the kickoff. Don't want to be late.
This warm September night was like any other for the 50 people who called the Alexandria home. Denise Ballou worked at a bank in central El Paso. Her neighbor, Durwood Morris, sold advertising. Rafael and Josefina Gonzalez lived on the 3rd floor. Their grandson, Rafael Jr., was spending the night.
Son, I got something for you. Okay?
What do you think it's gonna be? Are you excited?
I want you to be the boxer that I never was.
in your head, little brother.
Omar and Humberto Vasquez also lived at the Alexandria, but Matias Chasco evicted them after constant complaints about their loud music and late-night parties.
Matias Chasco will pay for evicting us.
The tenants used to come to my apartment and verbally complained about the Vasquezes congregating in front of the apartment building, blocking the entrance and drinking beer and sort of creating an intimidating atmosphere for the elderly people that lived in the apartments.
Police believe the Vasquez brothers left the bar shortly after 10 p.m. Fire Marshal investigator Joe Baca and his partner were nearing the end of their shift.
What's up with Empanada? They were all out of jelly rolls. It smells smoky. Oh, man. Go.
As we came around the corner, the night erupted into people screaming, yelling, crying, people hanging from third-story windows. The screams were bad. I think some of the younger firemen were really affected by the fact that there was screaming going on and that people were upset.
More than 70 firefighters and dozens of neighbors rushed to the Alexandria.
We're going in!
There was very little damage as we walked in the front door, and as we proceeded towards the back of the Alexandria apartments, to the back of the hallway, damage seemed to get larger and larger and deeper. We went up on the third floor and we were trying to find survivors.
The third floor quickly became a hellish corridor of smoke and flame. The bodies of a few residents who tried to reach the stairs were buried under burning timbers. Many tenants were trapped in their apartments by the flames and the smoke. They waited in terror, praying firefighters would reach them in time.
Hurry, please, hurry! Hurry!
45 people were left homeless by the blaze. At least 20 were treated for smoke and fire injuries.
There were victims half inside and half outside their doors as they had tried to escape.
Five people died that night, including 4-year-old Rafael Gonzalez and his grandparents. Matias Chasco and his wife had spent that fateful Friday night at their in-laws. They knew nothing about the fire at the Alexandria till the next morning.
It was a horrible experience, agonizing experience, and I was just trying to put it out of my mind, forget about it. But, the more I tried to forget about it, the more it was there. And I learned to get closer to God, and He gave me comfort, and then I learned to cope with it. And I prayed for the other families also that lost relatives in the fire, that the Lord would do the same for them, give them the comfort that I had received.
Witnesses reported seeing Omar Vasquez douse the stairs and strike a match. The stairwell instantly burst into flames. Other witnesses saw both Omar and Humberto running from the building. Both men were charged with arson, 6 counts of capital murder. But police say the two had already fled to Mexico. It's been 12 years since the fire, but the FBI hopes that someone may have overheard the Vasquez brothers bragging about the crime, and knows where they are tonight. There are few clues to go on. The brothers are from Juarez, Mexico, but they have family in El Paso, Texas, and probably travel back and forth. Omar is older by 1 year. He's now 32. Humberto is 31. They've worked as dishwashers in a restaurant. If you know anything about this case, please call 1-800-CRIME-TV. We can take your call in English or Spanish. Fire Inspector Joe Baca and agents from the FBI are right here in our studios tonight, waiting to hear from you. And remember, you don't have to tell us your name. There's a lot more when we come back, so stay with us. This is 4-year-old Jamaica Porch, who was kidnapped from her home in Chattanooga, Tennessee last Sunday morning. Police say the abductor removed a plexiglass plate and unlocked the back door to the family's home. The abductor then took Jamaica from her grandmother's bedroom where she was sleeping. Within hours of her disappearance, the Chattanooga Police Department, joined by hundreds of volunteers, used every means available to search for Jamaica. Jamaica was last seen wearing a white t-shirt with multicolored stars and white pajama bottoms with a rose-flowered print. Jamaica has hazel eyes, but they often change colors. If you know anything about Jamaica's whereabouts, please call 1-800-CRIME-TV. This little girl's only 4 years old, and she's in real trouble. She really needs your help, so don't be afraid to call. Now, here's a quick Missouri man whose torrid affair with his best friend's wife ended with his best friend's murder. Omar Adrian Vasquez and his brother Humberto are charged with arson and 6 counts of capital murder. The FBI says they set fire to an El Paso, Texas apartment building after being evicted. We won't be here next Saturday. NFL on Fox has a preseason game. We'll see you on a special day and time, a week from Monday at 8 p.m. Join us then for an incredible story of survival. They had his money, but they weren't stopping there.
So he's dragging me like you would a dog till they came to a tree to hang me. I'm gasping for air. I can't breathe. I can't swallow. The branch broke. They tried it 2 more times.
They put him through hell, but he survived. Now he needs your help to catch one of America's most wanted. Remember, that's a week from Monday at 8 p.m., right before the John Madden preseason special, the NFL on Fox. I'm John Walsh. Thanks for watching.
More or less convinced that I knew this man, and I was very excited because he had sat across from me at work a few days before the program aired. So that's all I could see in my mind was that's Gary and that's him. I never watched TV to begin with, so the fact that I was watching television, it was sort of like he was meant to be found.
Don't miss Fire and Rain, the tragic true story of the 1985 Delta Airlines crash in Dallas, tomorrow at 5 on the Q13 Fox.